Okay, and we're recording. So, hey guys, welcome to the pilot episode of the Crunch Time podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, one of the co-hosts, Aryan.
Oh, what's up, man? How are you guys doing?
Okay, so as I said, he's a co-host, so we have another member, but he's going to be brought on hopefully in later episodes. We have a lot of conflicting schedules, and to basically go into this whole project, we had this idea since I think April, right?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's been a really long time, and it's been like a lot of work, a lot of figuring out how we want to go about doing this. And I'm really excited about this project because it's going to be like the first time that all three of us get to work on something together, and that's really exciting because we're all pursuing different fields, as you'll learn throughout this episode and future episodes. So I think the fact that we get to work with each other in a creative environment is going to be really exciting to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with everything that Menagan said so far. The crazy thing is that we talk every day, like almost every day. We talk about things that are happening in the media, things that are happening in the sports world, music, what movies are coming out. And we figured out, if we're already talking about all these things individually, why not broadcast it and show it to a bigger audience? That's essentially what we're going to be doing here on the podcast. I mean, we're just going to be having a conversation as friends. And if you guys have any topics that you would like us to research and cover, obviously we're open to that as well. Yeah, basically, Menagan, what are some of the things that we're going to talk about?
So I think we're really going to be talking about mainly our life, where we are in our in life, and like what we're trying to pursue as well. I think what's really going to make us different is like we're going to also be like doing some gameplay stuff. It's going to be really adventurous. I think there's like a lot of stuff we can talk about. Again, with the sports, anything in the news, really, anything that we're really passionate about, especially tech too. I think that would be like really interesting to talk about, for sure.
Absolutely. And again, as I said, we're just gonna have normal conversations. It's not like we're gonna bring up reports from Wikipedia and go through everything. Like, we're gonna have normal conversations,
Yeah.
Anything that you guys want us to talk about. We're always talking about video games. Me and Menagan like to stay in the loop. What artist is dropping an album, what movies coming out, what's happening in the world of politics, whatever it is. We're always going to be covering topics that we find interesting, and hopefully that translates to our audience as well.
Hey, yeah, so let's talk about like what we're trying to pursue, where we are. So we're both in second year. So you want to take a lead on that?
I'll start off. So as Menagan said, we are both second year. So this should be like a quick introduction of us. Obviously, you're going to get to know us more and more throughout the episodes that we do. Hopefully, many more to come. But essentially, a quick recap of me. I'm doing law right now. I'm in second year. I'm currently in the UK, even though I'm from Canada. I'm from Toronto. But I'm currently in a city called Stoke, which is a very small city near Manchester, which is one that you guys will know. Yeah, I'm doing law right now, second year. Enjoying it so far. And working hard so far. Menagan, what about you?
So for me, I'm doing 3D animation. So I'm in my second year, 3D animation. I'm back home. I go to this college in Toronto, and we're just basically learning about the entire pipeline, whether it's game design, animation, and it's been a lot of fun. The second year, a lot more work, a lot more projects, tight deadlines, and it's been like pretty stressful at times, but like the amount like that we're learning and going into like game engines and stuff is like been incredible, and like I'm just like excited to get through the semester and go on to like next semester too. So yeah, I think right now we're both like pursuing stuff like that we're really passionate about, and like learning about things that we know it's gonna have an impact on us like 10 years down the line. It's just like I think it's super exciting. So like what kind of stuff for like in like law school that you've been like doing? I know you talked about like your client meetings. Want to like go into that?
Yeah, so I thank you for bringing that point up. Actually, I have a course that I'm taking called Legal Clinic. So the university that I'm studying from, the law school, has its own legal clinic, which is really cool. I've never heard of this before. So one of my professors asked me if I wanted to join, and obviously I said yeah. It's a proper course with credits and everything. And essentially it is a free legal clinic. Like, you have a medical clinic, a legal clinic, and we give advice for free. We're supervised by a real lawyer, who's my supervisor. She's a real lawyer. And yeah, we basically take client meetings every week. We do interviews. And then when they're gone, we do our research and we offer advice to them for free. If we can't offer advice to them, we also let them know, or maybe we refer them to another firm that can take their case on. But yeah, other than that, it's just law school is basically, fundamentals that you have to learn. Since I'm in England, I'm learning about the English legal system. How different parts of the government work. Also basic stuff like tort law, contract law, criminal law, international law. These are just the basic law things that you'll find everywhere in the world. But yeah, essentially it's just a couple legal foundations that they're trying to lay down in law school so that when you do pursue it, if you choose to pursue it, you have a sort of better understanding of no matter where you choose to pursue law, you'll sort of know the basis already. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy because I feel like for both of us in the first year, like the foundations were like really important. Like they laid out like the groundwork on like what you need to know, and then like second year is like a big huge step like above everything else. Like the first year we're learning about like the fundamentals, the principles of animation, and then in second year we're all of a sudden like trying to make our own like game and try to come up with like level design and stuff, which is like insane. Like the steps and how like advanced and how quick everything like just moves in like college and post-secondary is crazy.
They do say that the first year is just learning how to become a student, right?
Yeah.
And the second year is where you sort of get into the grind and you start figuring out, you can do with your degree when you're done, possible. There's a lot of stuff you can do with a law degree, with an animation degree. Like there's so much possibility.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about this podcast. It's gonna be very, very genuine. Like we're students, right? Like,
yeah.
It's not like we're multimillionaires who are just doing a podcast for the fun of it. Like it is for the fun of it. But we're real students living the real life. So I think there's gonna be some sort of connection there, hopefully.
Yeah. No, like I want to like just like ask like I want to like rewind the clocks and go all the way back to March 2020. Before this whole thing started. I just want to know like your thoughts. I'm just like really curious on like what we thought. I know it's like so tough to imagine. Like when March 2020, I really thought we will be back to normal in April. I felt like I think the real like big moment where I'm like, oh shit, this is really serious is like when the NBA shut down. I think that was like I was like, oh, like I didn't really realize how bad things were till like I think on like the second last day before like our March break. So like for context, we basically had a March break, which is like a week off school, but then school like they shut down 2 more weeks. They said 2 more weeks, but then they ended up shutting down for like obviously like a whole year and stuff. So like the second last day before like the March break, I remember my teacher like being like, "Oh, we just in case if we don't see each other again, we're gonna be switching to an online sort of thing." So I was like kind of like, "Damn!" Like I didn't really hear. I heard about like one case, and then all of a sudden it just like escalated. It's crazy.
That's the thing, like the fact that you said it was the NBA shutdown, right? Like when COVID first happened, I was thinking in my head like, what would need to happen in order for me to take the whole pandemic like seriously? Like I took it seriously from day one, not like an anti-vaxxer or anything. But in my head, I was thinking like, what would need to happen in order for me to sort of be blown away? And everything was happening. So the NBA season got shut down, school got shut down. There was a curfew, like curfew lockdown. Doors were getting shut down. Like everything was happening on the list that I would imagine would happen, and it felt like a movie. It still doesn't feel real, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like so insane. And like for music wise, I remember just like listening to After Hours that came out like March 20th or something, and then
you got the Weekend poster in your background too.
Yeah, right here, designed by yours truly.
Designed by him.
Yeah, and then also Don Tolliver's Heaven or Hell came out that time. And a crazy story. I think it was the last day before March break. You were like, "Yo, let's go to Laziz. Let's go out for lunch." And the thing is, you had third lunch, and I had fourth lunch. So I would have to like skip a class to go. So I'm like, you know what? We have there's like an important like assessment for that class too. So I was like, shit. Like then I ended up.
What class was it?
I want to say, I think it might have been data management.
Okay.
Something like that. So like, something serious. So like I was like really contemplating, but thankfully I'm still happy I made the decision to like skip and then go for that lunch because it's basically like the last lunch in a while. And then my teacher like emailed me like 3 weeks when we were doing like online. She's like, "Oh, you missed this important class. What was the reason?" I was like, "Yeah, I was just like sneezing a lot. I just like made up some excuse." And she's like, "Okay."
That's actually really like Easy to think about. If you didn't miss that day, you would have been like,
Yeah.
damn, I should have went.
Yeah. It was kind of like abrupt because like I think did you go back to school and came back for that lunch?
I did.
Oh shit!
After that lunch, right?
I cut the moment we came back. I think you guys went. Well, I just walked home. I didn't bother. I was like, yeah, go home. So it sucks. I didn't know. That was crazy. The last time I walked out that hall. Those halls.
Wow. Yeah, at least it was a good last memory, when you left.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
For those of you who are confused, we had like different lunch periods. So we have lunch periods in high school. So I had third, he had fourth. So a lot of our group had third lunch. So we were all gonna go grab lunch. I told Menagan, I'm like, do you want to join us? But he had a class third period.
Yeah.
So he came up with the notion that, what, screw it, I'm gonna miss third class, go to lunch with the boys. Obviously, it ended up being worth it because here we are, over a year and a half later, and we're talking about it. So
that was really important. And we were also, I think Don Toliver's album dropped, so we were listening to that on the way there.
That was March 13th.
Yeah, that was like the Friday. Yeah, so it dropped, so we were just listening to that. That was such a vibe. Great lunch.
It's pretty crazy how everything escalated. Way like when 2020 summer was actually a good period. There weren't a lot of cases. People were enjoying themselves. And right when summer ended, when it got into October, November last year, everything got bad again.
Yeah.
Just like that. So it was really crazy to see. What's it called? The curve, right? The curve.
Yeah.
Up and down, like.
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, overall, I don't know. The first month or so was good, and then it got boring for a little bit, and I was just like stuck at home. And then when summer hit, I think we kind of adventured out like cautiously every now and then. But yeah, overall, it was like 2020. It's just like there's like a lack of content too. Movie productions had to be delayed because like everything is wild.
I remember because my birthday is in April, so I was thinking, hopefully, because they told us initially we're gonna have 2 weeks off, right? We were gonna be set to come back, I think the first week of April or the last week of March. I'm like, all right, this is perfect. We're gonna be back in 2 weeks. I'm gonna have my birthday properly. I'm gonna invite the boys over. Might do like a nice barbecue, play some basketball in the backyard, have a nice time. Obviously, COVID happened, so for my birthday, me, my mom, and my dad, because my brother was in UK. Oscar. My dad and my mom, we went to Niagara Falls for a drive. Just fun.
Yeah.
It just shows you the crazy, change that happened within like a month.
It's wild. I remember I was working before like the whole pandemic happened. I was working as like a swim instructor. So like I remember my coworkers like they were like all joking around like pretending to like fake cough and everything. Everyone was like making a big joke about it, but then like it got really. It's so wild. Everyone's like, yeah, we'll be back in 3 weeks. We're gonna get our paychecks again. I was like, oh, bet. And it was wild because on the last day of classes, like barely any kids showed up. I think like 5 of my students like showed up for class, and like that was it. So, like it was like a free day. I was just like chilling, doing nothing, getting paid for it. So it was like a nice like, yeah. But that's wild.
That's crazy. It's crazy how everything shut down within like a week.
Yeah.
Over the whole world.
Yeah. Remember like Drake's like Tootsie Slide like music video where like it's like the video like Garner Expressway. The Garner Expressway is like a very like popular highway near Toronto. That's like packed all the time throughout like all like hours of the day. But like during the shutdown, like in the video, you'll see it's just like empty. The streets are like dead. Yeah, it was got
even
deers and stuff, coyotes and stuff were like roaming around like sidewalks and everything.
Who? Say it again.
Like coyotes.
Oh yeah. Like animals. Yeah. No, that was like, crazy.
That was wild.
I remember in that music video, there's like a shot of Gerard Street. I think it's called Gerard Street. A really popular street for like Indian food and stuff like that. So it's like one of the oldest streets in Toronto.
Yeah. What you're talking about, yeah.
So there was a shot of like that street, and like the camera turns all the way around.
Yeah.
All the stores are shut down. Not a single person in sight. It just feels like a movie, like a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. It's wild. Yeah, that's such a crazy time. It's so wild.
It's crazy to think about where we were and where we've came so far and where we're going. Like there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Yeah, and it's still like I guess we got like used to it now. Like the way we like quickly adapted to everything is like impressive. How we just like changed the way we like learned to like completely online, and like I think now a lot of like businesses and the way the world in like 10 years will realize like being in person is not like all that necessary. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I remember like on Amazon, like monitors would be like way cheaper because all of a sudden everybody was working from home, so everyone was buying computers, buying laptops. The prices actually no, the prices went up. Sorry, not down. The prices were like rocketed up just because COVID happened, and like we talk about the fact that all these in-place things got shut down, like movie theaters and stuff like that. I'm thinking about the business of like this PlayStation or Xbox or Netflix, who I can't even imagine how much money they made extra just off of the pandemic.
Like yeah, subscriptions, yeah, for sure. That's like crazy
Even
because I
music.
built my PC during during like the July June, so like during like the prime. So that was a lot of fun. I just spent like my day like, researching different parts and then like waiting for them to come and then building it was like a lot of fun. I think a lot of people, if you ever get the chance, I know you want to for like a long time. Once you graduate, for sure you should build PC.
I definitely want to. I think having a PC is sort of like a sign of maturity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One of those things where like kids have it, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm still gonna have my PS4. Like I love my PS4 to death. I'm probably not even gonna switch to PS5 for like another year or two.
mhm.
PC is something I want to have down the future.
Yeah.
I my my Siri keeps turning on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. PC is definitely on the table for now. I already have a monitor. I just need to build a computer.
Yeah, it's just like fun, like learning about everything that's in a computer. It's like actually insane how like these parts like work together and doing research is really fun for like building your own computer. I think that was like the most fun part, finding what parts are like compatible, having like a budget and like working within that budget. You know, I think that was like
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
fun. And like plus like
I,
anything other than like a MacBook for like a laptop, I feel like it doesn't last as long.
a laptop other than a MacBook?
Yeah,
I think so as well.
it's like
That's what MacBooks are like advertised for. Right? Like I've had my laptop since 2014, 15, working
it's
amazing.
yeah, my first laptop, like a lot of the screws like came out by itself. So like the back part of the laptop was like really loose. I don't know, laptops just like don't last as long as like PCs do.
That's the thing about MacBooks. Like people always talk about like Apple products as being overpriced and sort of like everyone who buys them is a robot. Whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
you compare iPhones to Androids, you can say that this Android is better than this iPhone because of the camera, whatever, whatever. When you compare MacBooks to their laptops, sometimes it's not really close. Like it's
Yeah.
favorable for MacBooks that much. The thing
Mhm.
that Apple promotes the most is the fact that like MacBooks is perfect for students. That's what it is because the battery life, the way everything is set up. It's a very
Yeah.
skinny laptop. The MacBook Air is a very skinny laptop. It's optimal for carrying in your backpack. That's the way
Yeah.
it's sort of like voted, and the fact that it stays live for so long is another bonus point. I'd say.
And like now like the new M1 MacBooks, which are like insane how
Yeah.
powerful they are. Like ever since Apple left Intel, because Intel used to make all their like chips and stuff. So they left Intel and decided to make their own, and now they came out with the M1 MacBook, and it's just insane. Like you can do actual video rendering, like high performance, like tasking stuff, and it like works and performs like to like what people expect it to perform to. So it's
Yeah.
insane. That's pretty wild.
I read this article a long time ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, where like a lot of workplaces had like an actual iMac, also a
Mhm.
MacBook, because iMac, as you said, like for stuff like high quality tasks and all that stuff, they would do it on the iMac. Always, it's a proper
Yeah,
computer. And the MacBook they would have for more like day to day sort of like meetings or like mini tasks and stuff. It's crazy how like people incorporate the two in their own life.
yeah.
But, like I don't know.
People who are in like the Apple ecosystem is like insane. They have like everything's like so connected. Like anything you need on your like MacBook, it's in your phone, it's on your Apple Watch and stuff. Is like wild.
That's another promotion thing, right? If you buy your Apple Watch, you can look at your messages from your phone. Like
Yeah,
If you have your laptop, you can answer calls from your phone, which is like super useful actually.
Yeah. Once they get you into that ecosystem, it's like once you're into like their products, it's like there's no other choice. It's like whenever you want to buy something, it's just what is like the Apple equivalent. If you want to buy like subscription, it's like Apple TV. You know, if it's watch, it's Apple Watch. You know, it's wild.
And everything is just that's like the standard almost. You know. Like,
Yeah.
You can't get enough of it. Like once you get Apple, it's sort of an addiction. Like things like status. Like if you see someone holding this phone making a call, you're gonna be like, oh shit, like what phone is that? It's a status thing, but it's also like a technology thing. Like the fact that they're doing their own separate system. Like you can't really pair Android to like your laptop. I don't know if I don't know too much about it, but I know you can't do it to the same degree as Apple.
Yeah, it's not as seamless. Like even pairing, like it's just like if you want to pair your AirPods, you just like bring it close to your phone and it just pops up. It's like, are these your AirPods? Yeah, and you just like pair. And then AirDrop as well. AirDrop is like underrated.
Absolutely, AirDrop is such an underrated feature. Like you don't need Wi-Fi.
Good too. FaceTime. That's just like
FaceTime.
Yeah.
FaceTime is crazy because like Android people can FaceTime now as well. iOS 15, right?
Yeah, but you had to like, it's not as smooth. You had to like send an invite link and like wild.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be super smooth anyways.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, I don't know, sort of condescending in a way because it's like you sort of want to buy an Apple product. Why is my Siri keep turning on? You sort of want to buy an Apple product so that it can be with all your buddies in a FaceTime call. Apple's like, here you go, like they're throwing Android people like a little bone, like here you go, you can join the FaceTime calls if you want, you know? Funny, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, the amount like I used to have an Android, but like the amount of jokes, man, for those like 3 years I had to put up with, it's insane.
Androids actually have a really good camera as well. Like, the memes sometimes don't even make sense. But, like,
I don't know why. Like, I don't know if there's something like with the compression, the way it appears on like Apple devices. Like, I don't know if they're like trolling with like how bad it is, but I don't know. It's just wild.
Is it actually that bad though, or no?
I don't think so. Like, there's no way. Have you seen that clip of that guy who was at like a baseball game, and he's just like, what kind of phone does this guy have? And he has like this Android that's like zooming in to like a player that's like all the way on the field.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen that.
Pull it up. We'll do it in post. Like, we'll pull it up. Like, yeah, that's insane. There's like, I think that was like a Samsung too. So like, yeah, they're really good with their cameras. I just don't know how, if like the jokes are like exaggerated or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, they're definitely exaggerated, but the older Android models, because Apple's had a good camera for a long time. Android's cameras have gotten better recently. So the Android memes actually do make sense like back in the day, but now they don't.
The Android memes are in such a big pool because you're in a pool with like every other phone that's not an Apple, you know? So there's like, there could be manufacturers that are making like the cheapest like $100 phone, and then that's in the Android pool. So if they take a picture on their whatever $100 phone, now memes are like, you know, in the Android, that's like an Android. That's why it's such a big name. Like it's iOS, the rest of every single phone manufacturer. It's insane.
I know like India has like a bunch of like these companies like OnePlus, you know, Google obviously, like a bunch of smaller companies that have like their own like Android phones, which is crazy to think about because you wouldn't really expect people to buy them a lot, but they're very popular in India. Not everyone can afford an iPhone, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to status. I don't think people care about performance. As long as it doesn't suck, totally.
Yeah. As long as you're like satisfied with whatever you got in your pocket, then that's what it is, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, if you can find like the perfect blend.
Someone has an Android, like I don't really give a shit, you know? I'm on Apple. You know?
Menagan actually made the switch over to Apple. What phone did you have before?
I had a S9. Samsung.
Now you have the
iPhone 11.
We got him to switch. What can I say, guys? Like, but act like I played a role, but you know.
No, the first thing I did was FaceTime you the moment I opened it.
I remember. I was at my dad's office. I'm like, oh, Menagan TikTok video? I rubbed my eyes real quick. I was like, hold up. I'm like, yo, what's up? That was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, hopefully this conversation gave you a little bit of an insight on what conversations would look like. Again, hopefully we can do plenty more episodes for you guys in the future.
Sure. Yeah, I think this is a great first episode. We just like this is all freestyle. We didn't even have like much planning going to this. So I think future episodes would like, if we had incorporate like gameplay or other elements into it, it's gonna be really entertaining. And hopefully, this winter when our boy flies back home, we're gonna do a live episode.
Yes, the live episode is something that we're trying to make happen. Leave a like
Mhm.
if you guys do want that to happen. Share this with your friends. Let everyone know that their new podcast, Crunch Time Podcast, has officially started. This is episode 1. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. My name is Aryan.
Thank you guys. It's Menagan.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and take care.